This announcement, this gesture by Pastor Danso revealed that we are all holding on to so much of patriarchy that if we are going to disrupt patriarchy, it is going to take a whole lot. Okay. A Ghanaian pastor recently shared that he spent 600 Ghana cedis on his wedding, and social media erupted. Some people praised him, some people were outraged, and believe it or not, some people even called it abuse.
If I no laugh, I go cry. So it's better I laugh, even if I have to force it.
Hi, I am Alice. I am a trauma therapist and a trauma researcher. I am somebody who is deeply invested in how culture, patriarchy, social political factors influence or shape our human experiences, such as marriage, relationships, and even mental health. Today, we are delving into a conversation that is much more deeper than how much weddings cost. We are going to talk about patriarchy. We are going to talk about money, womanhood, cultural expectations, and the hidden ways in which patriarchy still shapes our experiences, our desires, our way of living, especially in our Ghanaian marriages in Ghana and across the diaspora. So here is what sparked everything. Pastor Danso announced on social media. We wouldn't have known any of this if he didn't announce, but he announced on social media that he spent 600 Ghana cedis on his wedding, which is less than $50. Now, this was the wedding. I am sure it does not include the traditional marriage. It does not include the ring and other things. Now, looking at Pastor Danso's pictures and his wife's social media, these are two people who could have afforded an extravagant wedding if they wanted to. He decided to keep it simple. Family ceremony and legal registration. That is it. There was no lavish kente, no bridal train, no groomsmen, no flower girls, no flower boys, no borrowed money to impress people, no buffet, no opportunity for people to fight over jollof. Here comes the chaos. The internet split into two camps. Some people applauded this kind of wisdom and simplicity, and another called it disgraceful, disrespectful, and even abusive. Some of these comments were coming from young women whom somehow I expected differently from, because I thought we were getting to the age where we were leaving patriarchal expectations behind. But oh, no, 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 no. This announcement, this gesture by Pastor Danso revealed that we are all holding on to so much of patriarchy that if we are going to disrupt patriarchy, it is going to take a whole lot. Okay. And then came our very own Counselor Lutterodt.
I told you last week that money is a male, poverty is a female.
And as always, Counselor Lutterodt has a lot to say about marriage. He called this an insult to womanhood at another person's marriage ceremony.
Resident pastor, that I'm tempted not to say something that I'm not supposed to say, but I'll say it. You know why I have to say it? I think that the value of marriage is being lost because of poverty. When you choose to do marriage at your expense, it doesn't mean that it's how marriage is supposed to be. So for Bishop Danso to say that he married a wife at 600 Ghana, it's an insult to womanhood. And everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet. So for me, that's it. But it means that those of us who attend gatherings like this, we are insulting all of us. I mean, our fathers who married our mothers and they say their rings were cheap, they want better ones for them. So I believe that if a woman now will agree for you to buy 20 pesos a ring, it is because she wants to do it. And let's give that respect. But in front of congregation, I want to thank her for allowing me to marry her with 600. And I said, for me, I think it's an insult to womanhood. And we should condemn some things in the church. If you don't have money, you want to marry, stay in your father's house. Hallelujah.
Now, what does another person's marriage ceremony got to do with this? But we all know Counselor Lutterodt.
I told you last week that money is a male, poverty is a female.
This was an insult to womanhood. 600 Ghana cedis is an insult to womanhood. A marriage that doesn't financially bankrupt a family to begin with is an insult to womanhood. Now let's unpack this. This kind of thinking is rooted in something very specific. The belief that a woman's worth is tied to what is spent on her. And we as women, we have internalized this idea as well. This isn't about a simple disagreement or commentary. This is about the commodification of women. This is about the commodification of women through the performance of marriage. We have built a culture where bride price is seen as ownership. Every day I see on social media where men proudly and loudly proclaim that they can treat their wives anyway because they have paid bride price. We have built a culture where the ceremony is more than the relationship, where public validation is valued more than connection. We have made marriage ceremony a show, a spectacle, a trend that we are always working to out-trend another person. The goal is to go viral. The goal is to have a hashtag for your wedding. The goal is the pictures, the aesthetics. But marriage, real healthy marriage, it's not a party. It's not a fanfare. It is what happens after. The journey begins after the ceremony. In our society, marriage is a union between families grounded in custom and law. Legally, once you register your marriage and the traditional rites are performed, that union is valid. Pastor Danso's marriage is valid, just as the lavish wedding. The bridal train, the DJ, the food for 500 people, the hiring of drones to take pictures, the hiring of content creators to make it viral worthy, all those are extra. Cultural fluff we have turned into standards. We have made our own standards, and as a result, we are putting pressure on people. And unfortunately, we now pressure couples to start their marriage in debt to meet societal expectations, even if they cannot. The people who fall prey to these standards, to this extravagance, are the young people, the young couples who want to belong, who want to be part of something. Here is what happens when we prioritize spectacle over connection and substance. Young couples delay marriage because they cannot afford it. Others take loans to throw a wedding and start their marriage life with debt. Women feel embarrassed by simple ceremonies as though as love is not enough. And men believe they own women because of how much they have spent on women. You see the connection here? Let's be honest. Counselor Lutterodt comment. It's not about caring for women. It's not about respecting women. It's not about wanting what is best for women. Just like the others, they aren't just opinions. They are patriarchal talking points meant to uphold a system where a woman's value is determined by what a man can offer financially. And when you say 600 Ghana cedis, it's an insult to womanhood. What you are really saying is a woman is only honored when money is spent on her. What you are saying is that the marriage ceremony is only about the woman. What you are saying is that men do not have a voice in the marriage ceremony. It is not about them. It is all about the woman and not the voice of the man. This is not empowerment. This is not empowering women. This doesn't empower partnership where a man has a voice. So here is the powerful part about all of this. Pastor Danso knew his influence. Pastors in our Ghanaian society, whether they like it or not, they hold a lot of power. And what they are doing, they have role models who look at their behaviors, who will imitate their behaviors. Pastor Danso sent a very powerful message by sharing his story. He challenged the norm. He showed that love, respect, and mutual understanding are what builds a marriage and not money. He gave young couples the permission to say, I don't have to go broke to be married. I don't need public validation to honor my partner. A woman's honor is not in how much she spends on her wedding. In a world that tells us that extravagance is value, Pastor Danso's act, whether he knew it or not, was a radical act. Go to his social media, go to his wife's social media, and tell me if this is a couple who couldn't afford the extravagance. Tell me if the part about what Counselor Lutterodt is saying about poverty, if that is true. What do we really want our marriages, our relationships to be built on? Is it performance or connection? What pressure are we putting on women to be worth being married through a lavish ceremony? Let's start having deeper conversation. Let's challenge patriarchy, not just in words, but in how we celebrate, how we love, how we commit, in how we live our lives every day. If you are somebody that is going to challenge patriarchy, you have to do it through your actions every day. And in order for all of us to let patriarchy go, we have to betray the institution of patriarchy. And that includes us women. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think a low-cost wedding dishonors a woman? Have you ever felt pressured to spend more than you have on a wedding? Let's talk about this. Subscribe and let's have real-life conversations about our experiences and how we challenge cultural expectations. Because somebody out there needs permission to live life on their own terms. Because somebody out there needs permission to start their life, whether big or small, to live out loud, whether big or small, to defy society, how big or small. And this is your permission to betray patriarchy and culture. I will see you in my next video. Take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of somebody too. Bye.